Hey everybody, welcome to Real United States. We do a lot of discussion about the Tidal Basin in Washington, D.C., but I don't think I've ever really explained what the Tidal Basin is. Well, this body of water here behind me that I'm sure almost all of you have seen when you've seen any pictures of the Jefferson Memorial, which you see on the far side of the basin behind me. This is a 107-acre, 10-foot deep body of water with a single inlet to the Potomac River. Now, what you may not realize is that the ebb of the tide, when there's high tide, the Potomac River in this part of the river can actually flow backwards. So what happens is that the water builds back up in here, and the object of this pond, this basin, is to keep silt from getting out and plugging up the Potomac Channel, the Washington Channel. So about 250 million gallons of water are trapped twice a day and then released in such a way to keep that silt from plugging up everything. Now, interestingly enough, this is a relatively new, relatively modern development. This was actually constructed in 1949, so it was after World War II when this was actually dug out. And it has really helped to reduce, I guess, pollution as well. Now, I don't know a lot about the mechanics, but it's supposed to reduce pollution and silt, and maybe they're considering the silt as a pollutant in itself, but certainly you're going to get channels that are going to fill up with silt and have to be dredged on a regular basis, and that was a real problem prior to this being constructed here. Well, obviously this body of water was here. It was just kind of a swamp. It was dug out, the wall was put around it, and it was dug out in such a way, that these cherry trees that were here for the gift from Japan were not disturbed to any great degree. And a concrete retaining wall was built all the way around here so it wouldn't erode or grow over, those sorts of things. And now this is really a centerpiece of the heart of Washington, D.C. When tourists come here and they want to see the memorials, they usually walk around the Tidal Basin, which is where you'll find not only the Jefferson Memorial, but of course the Martin Luther King Memorial and the Franklin Delano Roosevelt Memorial are all right on the basin. There's a place right behind me where you can rent paddle boats and you can actually go out and paddle yourself around the basin if you want to. It's usually relatively calm unless the winds are quite strong. It's a beautiful, beautiful view of the Jefferson Memorial over there. It's one of my favorite views. And here real soon, hopefully we're going to get over there and we're going to do an episode about the Jefferson Memorial, which of course they had to drive huge pilings down in order to support the weight of this massive structure, but we'll get to that when we get to that episode. So I'd like to thank you for joining us here on the Real United States for our short episode about the Tidal Basin in Washington, D.C. and what that's for and what it's all about. If you haven't already, I encourage you to pick subscribe and come along for the adventure. We love having all of you with us. If you've got questions or comments, I will do my best to answer them. Please leave in the comment section below. I try to get back to everybody I can. And as always, thank you for watching.